Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy David, aka D Mizzle Frizzle on the Xbox Live Gaming Service, and I'm coming at you with the January 16th, 2015 Free Play Mode Quick Hit. And I've got a couple of interesting topics on deck, so without further ado, let's just get right into them. First topic on deck is Microsoft had a very good holiday. According to the MPD, they had the number one selling console, which means the Xbox One. All those bundles they had over the Christmas holiday led them to have the number one console. So good for them. That shows they're gaining momentum and leads me into my next Microsoft topic. On my last quick hit, I asked what were they going to do to maintain that momentum now that they got 10 million plus consoles sold in the customers' hands, and what they're doing is they're going back to the $349.99. So I guess they wanted to wait a couple of days before going back to $349.99. And I think this is in response to my next topic, which is Sony, even though their console is still $399.99, The Last of Us will be bundled with every 500 gigabit hard drive model of the PlayStation 4. So now you have some real competition. Do you get the cheaper console, which is $349.99 in the Xbox One, or do you go for the PlayStation 4, which comes with a bundle game? So things are really heating up between Microsoft and Sony. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens going further down the road. Another thing with Sony is coming out of CES, the big talk of them is them releasing a new generation Walkman, and I think this is the exact thing that is going to drag Sony down, because it's a $1,200 audio only device, and I'm just going to ask this bluntly: who's going to buy that thing when you have cell phones that play music, when you have iPods? Like, no audiophile is going to purchase that thing, because it really doesn't make sense to have, in all honesty. Like, this is the type of thing that's going to drag Sony down as a company, no matter how well they do with the PlayStation brand. And they are doing very, very well with the PlayStation brand. It's just their refusal to acknowledge that they're not the industry leader or even the industry standard when it comes to the home consumer electronics division. Their televisions, their stereo systems, and they're just not competitively priced when compared to everybody else. I just think they should just dump the entire consumer home electronics division and just be movies, music, and video games, because they're not going to make any kind of money off the consumer home electronics division. They should also dump their cell phone division, because let's be real here. When was the last time you saw somebody rocking a Sony phone? It's either people have a Samsung phone, an LG phone, or an iPhone. That's the way of the world. Sony's just not recognizing the way of the world and where things are leading. So hopefully they get their shit straight, get things together, because I don't want to see Sony go out of business, because their PlayStation, their gaming division, is like the beacon, the light in that whole darkness that is Sony at the current moment. What else do we have here? Another thing is something that I'm very, very happy to see, is that a person who initiated a swatting. And if you don't know what swatting is, it's when a gamer, calls the SWAT police on another gamer because they're getting owned in whatever game they're playing. A person was put on trial for this, and they got 5 years in a federal detention. Hopefully this serves as a deterrent to all swatters, because I know all you gamers out there are not Billy Badasses. You're probably like the weakest, frailest little punk asses ever, and you don't want to do any time in prison. So hopefully this stops people from doing this stupid thing, because Let's be real here, as real as we can possibly be. Swatting is not a funny thing. Like, given the state of today's police with all this heightened police stuff, like, you have police out there with itchy trigger fingers, and one of these days somebody's gonna swat somebody and the police are just gonna bust in there, no questions, just start shooting up shit, and you're gonna have a dead gamer on your hands because someone thought it was funny because they couldn't handle getting their feelings hurt in a video game. It's not what video games are supposed to be. Video games are supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be about building a community, since we have this online shit now. It's not about having the police bust in your house with guns drawn at you for no reason other than you got butt hurt in Call of Duty. That's not the way it's supposed to go, people. And another news story that's bringing a smile to my face is the Lizard Squad is starting to be rounded up. They're getting arrested left and right. And I say good for them. Good for them. I'm glad they're being arrested. I'm glad these kids are being shown that their actions have consequences, because what are you trying to prove? You're not proving vulnerabilities within the Microsoft and Sony system. You're just proving that you're some script kiddie sitting in their parents' basement running a DDoS attack. A lot of people can do that. It's not the hardest thing in the world. Like, if I wanted to right now, I could rent a botnet and launch a DDoS attack on something and take their computer offline for a couple of days. That's not showing that you're a hacker, and that's not showing that you're a good intended person wanting to show vulnerabilities within the system. There are ways to do that without spoiling the fun for millions of people who use video games just as an escape from their everyday life. Like, people who come home after a hard day's work, because the average gamer is now 25 years old. People who come home from a hard day's work, or come home from school, college, lots of books, need to decompress. They want to jump on Xbox Live or PlayStation Network. They don't want to deal with this bullshit. So to future groups who think this is a good thing that they want to pick up, and don't do it. Just leave it alone. Let people have their fun. It's not showing off your skills. You're not proving anything to anybody. And that's all the topics I have for today, folks. So I hope you enjoyed the free play mode quick hit. And as always, hit that subscribe button. Spread that word of mouth. And I hope you have a good day. Peace, y'all. I'm out.